Hello guys, so this is another video. um, so I'm just gonna pick up where I left off. I was just creating the landing page, and this is uh, this is the where to div. So it's not gonna be clickable or anything, only the ride and builds and reserve were clickable. So where to is just a div that's not clickable. So I'm just okay, so it should be reserve. So I still have to style this where to div. So this is the height and this is the font size. Font size 1.5 rem. This is a slight padding. And there's gonna be, so let's see what happens. Okay, so now we have something. There's gonna be a margin. There's gonna be margin, and this is sort of like square. And remember that it's sort of like a circular radius. So this is sort of like a circular, and this is still square. So we have to do something about that. And what else is missing? Yeah, so there's also some space between this box and this box. So there's this so you can call it margin top. And I guess that's it. Let's see what happens. Margin top. And so we're gonna have to use the align items center. Let's see what happens. So it seems good to me. Did I provide the border radius? Oh yes, okay, yes I did. So sorry, I should be looking at this one. Yeah. Okay, no, I didn't provide the border radius. Yeah, so there's no border radius now, and the align items isn't even valid here. You see, like it's not even working. It's not making a difference. So what should I do? So in order to make align items work, I should say display flex. Otherwise, it's not gonna work. Let's see what happens. Oh, and also I should be providing border radius. Border radius should be 0.5 rem. Let's see what happens. Okay, yes, we're all good now. Alright, it seems better now. So, and then remember that there's going to be a map component. The map component, I haven't created it yet. So once you click in ride, you're gonna go to the search page. So let's do something about that. So remember I keep telling you that the React router DOM, use the React router DOM, import use history from React router, and then create a variable history, invoke that function, and then you use this function stored inside this variable inside this div. So there's going to be an on-click property history and put it inside a callback, and you're all good. I guess that's it. I should be clicking here. Okay, so nothing's happening. Am I getting an error? No. Okay, yeah. So I'm getting the search. I'm going inside the search. Okay. Okay, so let's go to the search. In search, so what do you have in search? We have a lot of things, like for example, we have this input box and this input box, and this is a magnifying glass. So this is a like search icon. When you click it here, you're gonna, so when you click something, let's say you search for something, let's say you search for this city, Mumbai. I love the city. And so what's happening is that it's sending an API request. So this is sort of like an open API that is from OpenStreetMap that you can use. So there's other options you can use. For example, there's the Google autocomplete thing. I'm just going to show you what I mean. So this is the like places autocomplete that you can use, but unfortunately, like you need a key, which costs like about $10. I don't have the key right now, but it's much easier if you use this JavaScript API place autocomplete. This is a much better thing to use instead of this OpenStreetMap. OpenStreetMap has some limitations, like you can only make a certain number of requests in a day. So I just don't want to make more requests right now because it might block me anytime for some time being. So yeah, like I said, when you click on when you send a request, it's gonna send this API request, Mumbai city, and it's gonna return a bunch of things. So let's say you click on this one. This is also in India, and so just let's say you want to go to let's say I don't know a lot of Indian cities. I'll just, okay, so let's say Delhi. So notice I'm just, when I click a search icon, it's going to send another API request, and it's pending. Okay, so I can like click this one. So note that it sent 2 GET requests and the status code is 200. So it's so, and this is from OpenStreetMap. You can, like I said, you can use Google's autocomplete and Places autocomplete API, which is like much better than this, but you need a key. So you click confirm location. What? So yeah, I mean, so this is the Mumbai city that that's our pickup location, and this is the Delhi city of Delhi. I'm not sure if that's the actual city. I'm not really familiar with Indian cities, but yeah, the map is showing this is the New Delhi city. This is the actual satellite map. So this is the route that Mapbox chose. So it's good. So yeah, I mean, so there needs to be, let's go back for a second. So there needs to be like 2 divs that's going to send this API request, and it's going to create another red box right here that's going to give out all the suggestions, and you're going to have to pick one. So let's begin. And also there's this confirm location. So yeah, let's begin. there's return. And so let's start by creating the div that's gonna wrap everything up. I'm just gonna start with the background. RGB 229, 231, 235. And the height should be always be 100%. So there's this so there's also this back button that we also need to create. So let's do that. So let's look at it first. So there's this image I'm using, not an icon, or not something I'm importing from Material UI. So this is the image that I'm using. So let's just copy it and create a div. Background color is white. And there's some kind of padding. Padding left is 1 rem. Inside that there will be like an image. Oh, you can also create that on click thing. I'm just gonna do it later. So I'm just gonna create that image that I saw. Self on close tag. Yeah, so I'm just gonna format everything. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, so we have this div over here. So padding right didn't really matter, but I just wanted to make sure it's at the center. Let's see what padding left does. So it's sort of adds some spacing between this area and the border, and the background color is just background color. So let's see what I have to do then. Like, so there's gonna be like the whole div after this. So after this one, there's gonna be another div. So there's gonna be this div that we're gonna have to do right now. So create this div. That's what we're doing. So inside this div, there's gonna be like, the background color should be white, and there's gonna be 2 input boxes. And display should be as usual, flex, display flex direction is column, and it should be in the center. Justify content center, justify content center, align item center, and then I don't think I need anything else. So I'm a little bit confused. Oh, I see. So yeah, there's gonna be another thing that I forgot to mention. So there's gonna be like a there's another div. You see what's happening. So inside this giant box, there's another div. So another div that's sort of placed in a column. So it's actually 3 images. Okay, this is one image, this is another image, this is another image, and this is not an image. Oh, it is. Okay, this is just an icon. Okay, image of the icons. And this is just a material UI icon. Yeah, so the SVG icon from material UI. So yeah, so this is one box and this is another box, so we have to keep that in mind. So I mean, you can do it in a different way, but yeah, so let's just copy the name of the image, and so mention display, flex direction is column, flex direction is column, and justify content is center. Align items should also be center. And then lastly, there should be like the width. Cell phone closing tag. Height is 0.625. RAM, let's see what happens. So yeah, there's this little dot inside the center. So as I add more divs, as I add this box, these 2 boxes, and as well as this little box, it's just gonna move towards the right. So right now it's at the center, but it's just eventually it's gonna move towards the right. So there's 3 more images. And now I'm just gonna create that div for the input box. So I'm just gonna I'm doing position relative. I'll show you why in a bit. But just remember that for this you have to, like, there's going to be a child element that's going to be that's position would be absolute. So that's why I'm giving it as the parent element. I'm providing it as relative. Display flex direction is column, flex is 1. Okay, sorry, I'm just trying to think. Okay, I'm not sure if I need this. Well, let's just okay, let's just type along. Let's just see what happens. Flex direction should be row. Align items as usual would be center, width, so create the input box. Just create the placeholder first, so it says enter pickup location. Value should be values. I'm just provide this value in a bit, and then every time we create a input box, there's gonna have to be value and onChange property. So let's just do the value. Value thing first. So the value should be okay. Okay, so okay, so for this, okay, sorry, give me a second. I'm just trying to think how to explain this. Okay, so just remember, like, what we have to do is, when you select this position, you have to pass this position into another page, another component, another page, whatever you can call it. So how do we do that? So we use the context API. So this is the context API in React. So you don't have to do those little just little things that, like, passing from one component to another, and use like a parent element to child element, and you don't have to do those prop drilling things. That's just really bad practice. So what you should be doing is using context API, and this is an important concept in React. I'm just going to show it again so that you guys can look into it in a later date. So this is the context use effect, and there's somewhere in the page there's this context API. This is talking about all the hooks. So yeah, there's the context API, use context. So it's a bit of a complex concept. I'm just gonna show you how to create a context API. And it's gonna, so this search is a little bit complex for beginners. So I'm just gonna do it now. Okay, so this is the first component. So this is the pages. I haven't added a single component yet, so I'm just gonna create this general. I'm just gonna name it as general context, because I'm just gonna put a lot of variables that I want to pass around. Just gonna import React. Use effect. Okay, and then use context. This is the API that I was talking about. So first and foremost, what you have to do is use this create a variable. You can name it whatever you want. You have to import, either you can import it like this, or you can use it like this, like from create, because this is a library from React, so you can write it like this, or you can import it directly. Invoke this function, and then you create a function. And you create and you write it, and you have to write children, otherwise it's not going to work properly. And use this variable that you used for create context function. You have to use this variable, and then it has a property called provider, and you pass around these values. and then you can export it however you want. Like you can you can use it however you want, but what I like to do is also create a custom hook, and I'm gonna tell you how. I'm gonna write it down. This is a custom hook that I usually do, and you use this. You import it from React library, use context, and it's a general status context. And so this is how you do it, and then there's the fact that you have to import into this app, otherwise it's never gonna work either. Import general. So you have to use this curly braces because you're basically exporting it as you're not using default, so you're exporting two of these items, two functions. So that's why you have to use this curly braces, because you're not exporting it as default. Another thing, okay, I'm just gonna show it to you later, but yeah. So you just have to remember that when you're importing it in the app, when you're importing it as an in the app, you can't import this function. You have to import this function, otherwise it's gonna show you a lot of errors. So that's what I did. So I'm just gonna create for the two input divs that I tag that I just created in the search page. I'm just gonna create two of the variables to pass around. So for in order to do that, I'll be using sanyat.hoque. I'm just gonna write it down like how I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna write it as, let's say, select position. Also, you can use another thing called pickup field. This is just to pass those data around. Pick up and then drop off field. And you have to use this. So one is a variable and the other is a function. It's not a variable, okay? So you have to pass this variable and function, and you can do both. It's not like you can only pass variables. You can pass anything you want. So I'm just gonna pass all of these things for my convenience. And so I must import I should import this. Now, I told you before that when you import it in the when you are importing this in the app uh, app component, you're gonna have to import this one. But when you're importing these variables, you're gonna have to import this one. So this is a custom hook that I created, so you're gonna have to import this one and not that one. And I show you what I mean. Use general status from components general underscore, yeah. Okay. Now what you're gonna have to do is this destructure so destructure this. So so this is a function that you imported from this context API, and now you have to like destructure. That's how you're destructuring all these things. And before that, I'm gonna also have to create some more variables. Search text. This is for the input div 1, this is for the input div 2. And I'll just in a minute I'm just going to show you where I'm using all these things. It's really simple once you get a grasp. So I just created those variables and using useStateHook, and I'm going to use them in place of value. I'm just going to keep it as it is for now, the values, but I'm just create the on change target. And beside the, okay, let's just finish the styling first. Let's just deal with the styling of the input first. Okay. Yeah, style, and then height. Width, you can use this 90. You can experiment with different size. So there's like specific color. Add some spacing at the top. And it's a little curvy at the edge, so I'm going to put border radius. There's also going to be a padding on all sides. Let's see what happens. Okay, so we didn't like place any, we only place an empty object inside the div. So that's how you're getting the object thing. And also there's this border and outline, so we don't want that. So let's just get rid of that for now. Border is none. So now it's kind of like the tricky part. You have to so there's this so there you go, the outline is gone. So there's this magnifying icon, search icon, sorry, and this is gonna send the network request that I just made a little bit earlier. So when you click on it, it's gonna send out a request. So let's see how to do it. So there's a search icon. The search icon, I'm just using it from the, I'm just importing from the material UI. Search icon from material UI for I'm just going to show you like exactly what I mean in a second. So whenever I try to import this thing, it's going to give me an error. So it's saying material UI icon search not found. Okay, material UI icons, material UI icons. Okay, okay, so there it is. So it's important that for the guys who are still at beginner level, I'm just pointing out that it's important that you install this specific version of material UI, and you just don't just go on npm install and just install any version. So just remember 4.12.4. It's 4.12.4. Okay. Okay. I can find it. There's no version. Fine. One. Okay, deprecated. I'm just gonna install it anyway. Okay, so there's this usual dependency error, so I'm just gonna use this command, and it's gonna avoid all that because it doesn't really break anything, so you don't really have to worry about that. So I mean, as you can see, like it's still the same material UI not found, can't resolve. So it's probably a different version. So what can I do to install this version? Material UI 4.1214. Oh, okay, so it already installed 4.12.4 is the right version. Okay. So why is it showing this one? So why is it showing an error? Material UI. Oh, no. Sorry, I should have. This is material UI icons, not core. Really sorry about this. I'm just gonna have to install material UI icons. Material UI icons npm. Is this deprecated as well? I don't know. Okay, so let's see which version I need to use. Material UI icons 4.11.2. 4.11.2. Okay. There's only one. Don't have a choice. Okay, same old dependency error. Ignore. I'm not sure what's happening. Okay, good. Start. Now I'll be able to use this search and if you go to the search icon documentation, you can just see what you can just find these properties in the documentation. I don't want to cover this because it just makes the video too long, and you can just shape it up a little bit. Height, just mention the height and the width 10%, and there's this on click. So now, this search icon, when you click it, it's gonna have to make that request using the OpenStreetMap. So I'm just gonna show you what I mean. This is the nominate OpenStreetMap. So this is where you can find the API. So you can just look for this documentation, denominate him, and so this is where you can find a bunch of information getting started with OpenStreetMap API. So this is the lookup. Instead of using Google autocomplete, places autocomplete, which is like you need to pay, you can use the free API. Okay, so you can look it up later. So first you need to have so whatever I'm typing, you can just find it in the documentation. So you're gonna have to use search text, format, and it should be JSON, address, detail, polygon, JSON, and this is these things you can just all find in the documentation. I'm not doing anything complicated. Documentation of like nominated. Just type console. So right here I'm just gonna use some backticks. Backtick is just a little more convenient. There's a query string. So this is the API link. And then after that you have this request options. So this is just a normal fetch API, get API, get request, response, response dot text, result. So there you go. Save, see what happens. Let's see what happens. So this is a landing page, and okay, So this is, let's see what happens if I click here. So it does send a request, so that's good. So there's this so once you send a request, there's gonna be another, like a bunch of, this is gonna be a drop down, a bunch of options where you'd be able to see a bunch of options. Let's create that in the next video. I'm a bit tired now.